Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I know I made this announcement a little late on Instagram that we're going to be going live tonight. It's kind of like a last-minute decision. So we'll wait a few minutes here. We'll let everybody have an opportunity to come in and join. And then we can talk about some of these pieces we're going to work on, some stuff, and show you guys around and see what's going on. So let's wait a couple minutes here, and we'll let some people join in while we wait on some people to come in here. Kind of get set up here and get some stuff cleaned up and some stuff taken apart. We're kind of sitting here hanging out on the bench. We're just cleaning up the distributor tonight. Cleaning up the contacts, checking the weights, stuff like that. Grab one of my little trays. I'm gonna keep on hanging out for a minute here. Give people the opportunity. Let's do it this way. It's gonna help if I have the right size, huh? Man, I am not getting very lucky. Of course, it's an 8. It's always an 8. Or a 10. 8 or a 10, either way. Let me see. Still waiting a few minutes here. We're gonna let some people join in. Start taking this apart while we're waiting on them. Like I said, all we're gonna be doing is working on our distributor tonight, hanging out, answering some questions, might show you a couple things. Oh, that's not gonna fit. That's better. Still waiting on a few people here before we get going. We continually start taking this apart. Let's get some stuff set up while we give people the chance to join in on the chat and check out on the video. Here's my 8. At least I was in there tight, not all loose. So all I'm doing right now is I'm taking the points off. Somebody had asked me on Instagram if I was going to go to an electronic ignition system. And to be completely honest, I have not looked into that yet. It sounds good. It sounds like something I would probably want to do. But got to do the research on it first, so I don't have a definitive answer on that yet. But you'd think it would be good for reliability reasons. My 124 has an electronic ignition system, but they make the kits for that, so it's a little more prepped and user friendly for that kind of thing. So. Gonna give a few more minutes here. I know it's kind of dragging on. So all I'm doing right now is I'm cleaning the points, making sure they have a good flush surface to mate to. They're actually like a little off, but they are dirty, let me tell you. All I'm doing is taking some 320 grit and cleaning up that surface. I don't think a certain number of grit really makes that much of a difference. I've even got my little Dremel here, and that'll help clean up some of that too. It's non-abrasive, non-damaging, little tiny wire wheel. That'll clean up the points pretty good. Get it all situated. While we still wait here a couple minutes, let some people join in. I know we just got started, so try not to jump the gun too early for everybody. So I'm just gonna be cleaning this up, making sure the connections are all good, no crazy bad erosion or corrosion or anything like that on there. So just making sure these are all good. Got a good connection. So we'll give everybody just one more second here. If anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to ask away while we're kind of waiting here for a minute for a few more people to join in. Then we can get started. But if you have a question, you can type in the chat. I can see it on my screen here. All right, that's better. All right, let me grab one more thing. All right. So first thing we're going to do is on our distributor here is I have completely taken it apart. I've got the points off. We've got the cap off. We've got everything out of it, just the bare piece here. So we're going to bring out our multimeter here. And we're going to test that if our points are any good. We took our little wheel, we took some sandpaper to the connections just to make sure that they are clean. That way we don't have any bad readings. We're going to be setting it to ohms on your multimeter. I just have it to the 2000 setting. You can go higher than that, I think, even the 20,000, but that's just where I like to start at, is somewhere kind of lower. And just to make this easier to show you guys, I'm going to be using some alligator clips on my connections. And I'm going to show you where I connect them on the points so you can see how they work. So I'm going to have one alligator clip I'm going to have on the arm of the, you can actually probably even go to this connection here. Let's do this. So we're going to go to the end of the wire, and the end of that wire goes into this terminal here, where you can see it there. And that in turn touches the spring, which comes all the way around, which is on the arm, on the arm, which is at the tip of the point there. So when I open it, that's what we're connected to, is that top arm there. Okay. So the next piece we're going to do is just connect it anywhere onto the body. Make sure I've got it on there good. So we got it onto the end of the wire and onto the body, because the body is the other half of that connection. So what the points do is they interrupt the ground, right? So when it's connected, it's free flowing, and when the points are opened, it interrupts the connection. So when we go here, when you see that I'm putting no tension on it, you'll see that it's very close to zero, right? Very close to zero. But when I open it, it goes to 1, which means it's just open connection. There's nothing there. So when I reconnect it, see, it's 0. Open it, close it. Open it, close it. And every time, over and over. But now just imagine that as the distributor goes around, it's opening and closing that points over and over and over again. So we know that our points are good. We cleaned them. They have a good solid connection between the 2 points, and a good spring on them. So next thing we're going to do is go to our distributor itself. So let me set this aside here. Sorry, I got all my stuff scattered everywhere like an idiot. All right. So what we're going to do is put our points into our distributor. Let's see if I can show it on camera here, but underneath the weights here, you see these little threads, and that's what the ends of the points go into. So you always make sure that we're going in just like this. So we're going to put them in there, but we're going to put them a little loose, just so that when it comes to putting them, to set them for the correct distance, and I've got the book here so we can set them correctly, we will be able to move it and adjust it a little bit. And this is always the fun part when you try to screw in the screws when the weights are in the way. That's part of doing it live though, right? You've got to do it with it. Let me make sure I don't have the wrong one in the wrong place. There we go. That's a little better. Helps if I put the right one in the right spot. So these were 8mm little nuts. And so you see what I'm doing is I'm just setting them in there for right now, and then we're going to adjust them here in a second, if I can get it seated. Now you can't take out this whole center shaft, you just got to take out this locking pin that's here, and the whole center shaft will come out, and then you can do it. But I did not elect to do that. And you could do that to clean the cam in there. And what that does is as the distributor turns, here I'll show you here in a second. We're going to set them and then I'll show you. So as the distributor, let me see if I can get it like this so you can see the points. Okay, so you see the points right there. So as this middle lobe, it's got some bumps on it. Kind of see how it's like a little square. So as it comes around, let's see if I can get the camera focused on it. Get this out of your way. So as the cam comes around, it'll open the points and it'll bump it, and that'll open the points, interrupting the connection. So what I'm gonna do is get the points on the very top of one of those lobes. If I tightened it a little too much for myself. There we go. So you get it on the top of one of those lobes, and you set the gap, and there's a certain setting for that. And according to the book, it's anywhere between 16 thousandths and 18.9 thousandths. So I'm going to go with 17. It's right in the middle there. Maybe like a loose 17. That way we are safe, and we can always adjust that later with it in the car. So I have the back one, which is just a pivot. I have that a little more tight. In the front, we can still adjust. So you want to make sure you have enough room there. And when I have the cam all the way up on that lift, you push on. So it's kind of tough to show you guys here, but the so there's a fin. It's like a little hook that comes out of that point. And so as the fat part of the lobe comes around, it pushes on that, and that's what opens your points. So as it comes around, you want it at that highest point, and when you set at that highest point is when we want to set our gap at that 17 thousandths. And by doing that, you push on the body of the point, and it'll open the gap. So when I push on the body, see how it opens it like that? So we're going to put our feeler gauge in there of 17 thousandths. And we want it to drag, but not to be stuck. But we also don't want it flopping around in there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of set it in there. Make sure we're on that high point. I'm just going to try it right here, and then we can always adjust it. Because as you tighten it, it'll naturally want to squeeze those points together. So, okay, so I think I got it on the first try. It's pretty lucky right there. So on the point, we're looking right here. So I'm at 17 thousandths, 0.017, and we're going to put it in between those points. I'll see if I can do it from this side. Oh, I turn the distributor. Come on now. There it is. All right. So we're going to put them in there at that high point. And feel for it. You can hear a little bit of a drag, and that's good. So we're going to spin it around a few times. So as you spin it, see how it opens and closes? Because it's hitting the high points of that cam. And that goes at the speed of your engine. So the faster you accelerate, and faster the engine turns, the faster this turns, firing off the electricity to your cylinders. Spin it around a few times, let it sit. Make sure you set it in there. We'll bring it back up to a high point. Now, if you can get points where you live, I would recommend just getting some new ones. I mean, they're only a couple bucks, and we're set. It's just easy not to have to worry about it. But I didn't order any, like the genius I am. So we are having to reuse these for now. And if we have an issue later when we go to start to run this thing in an episode or two in the future, we can do that. So we're just reconnecting our points to the distributor and our condenser, which is this big thing on the back. That we're reconnecting that also. And that's what absorbs the excess unused I guess, unused electricity, I guess, if you want to call it that. And just kind of soaks it up and gets that in there. Ooh, don't lose a tiny washer. That would have been very bad. All right, try it again. So we'll put this back on here. I think this was a 6mm. I think, or 7 will do it. I know this isn't the fun part when you're sitting here waiting for me to tighten stuff down, but we're getting there. All right. I just want it nice and tight. One thing I did notice about these instructions says just tighten it until it's tight, whatever that means. Just missing a lot of torque settings, so you just kind of have to use your judgment for it. So what we're going to do again is we're going to test one more time. That way we know when it comes to our connection in the car, when we get to that point to test it, that this is not going to be one of our points of issues. I guess you would say issues. So I have it connected to the wire right on the end there. And I'm going to connect it to the other end to the body of the distributor, wherever the rest of it goes. So I can just kind of clamp it on the side there. Need it to be in a stable spot so it won't keep jumping around on us. Oh, stay still now. All right. So we are at, let me see if I can set this up to where you can see it. All right, so as we spin around, you'll see it 0, interrupted, 0, right? When the points are open like that, right? And closed. And then open and closed. Right. And that just does it over and over again. So we know that we are set on our distributor here. Bring it one more time just for our peace of mind that we are actually at the right distance. And still get it through there fairly easily with a little bit of drag. And just like that, that is all it takes to set your distributor points. Not a big deal. People make it seem like it's super complicated, and it's not. You just got to make sure you know what you're measuring and how to get there. So that moves us onto our cap. I'm just going to clean up the cap, get off any old grime that's on there, anything like that. Alright, just like that, we cleaned it up, got it nice and shiny. So we know we have a good connection service there. And we can put it back on. For some reason this has two different kinds of springs. Don't know why that is. I'm not going to ask questions. When these cars are this old, you kind of just roll with it, right? So we're just going to leave it, see how it goes. If I need to get new springs, I can. Springs aren't hard to change, especially because they're right on the top. You don't even have to take it out of the car. So that is the distributor minus the cap, which I think is pretty explanatory. I probably need to clean the terminals on that. Yeah, I'm just having all sorts of issues. Get that on there. Hello, musical plants. What's going on? Thank you for joining in. We are just finishing up on the distributor. Is how you build a time machine. No, it is not how you build a time machine. I guess if you want to think about it, this could be a time machine because it's the timing of your spark, if you want to think about it that way, of when it's supposed to go off. So it takes track of the time of your spark, if you want to get creative that way. But that is how you put your distributor together. And I'm going to grab the cap, so hold on a second. Put it in the other tub. All right, so here's our cap. One thing we can do while we're sitting here and we have our multimeter out is we can actually check the continuity of our wires. These are old wires. These are Whittaker Supreme wires. Never heard of them, but they still look okay. They're still nice and bronze colored. So we'll test those, make sure those are all good, and then we can look at our cap here. So it's kind of hard. Let me see if I can get y'all let's see. So if you look inside the cap, if I can get the light better. So you can see those little tabs in there. That's how you get the spark to your different spark plugs. And so sometimes those get nasty. Clean those up. What am I disturbing with my distributor? I'm not disturbing anything. So the best part is it's even numbered on it. So it's even got the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we definitely gotta make sure we follow that when we put it back together. So if you want to check the continuity of your wires, there's this little setting on there. Looks like a little amplifying. I don't know how well you can see that right there in the bottom. That's where mine is. So what we're going to do, continuity, if you don't know what that is, continuity is if the connection goes from one end of the wire to the other. So what that means is if I put this end touching the metal on the inside, which it barely reaches, and I go to this side and I touch it, it should beep. Or I get some massive resistance number. I'm getting some massive number. Let's see what the resistance is. All right, so here's another way to do it. Yeah, I'm not going to teach you how to make a bomb because I don't know how to do it. So there's that. So if you want to check the continuity, you can do it with resistance. So if I have it hooked in at both ends on the distributor wire and I put it to the 2000 setting, which is the one I usually like to use, makes it easy, or the 200, you can check for the continuity and you should get 0 resistance across it. Let me take these out of the way. Got too many cords going on here. All right. It's interesting because I'm getting like a bunch of resistance, and then hello gamer for life, welcome. So I'm getting a lot of resistance across this wire, but then sometimes I'm not. So we are going to try it this way. Getting a lot of resistance. Let's try another one. Because there's no reason why this wire should be bad. Especially because there's no reason for them not to be bad. So we're going to go in this one. Someone's having a great time. So I'm getting like 1800 ohms. No way. Hold up. I should be getting like any. Make sure I'm on the right setting here. Alright, so you hear the beep? That means there's a solid connection. So if these are connected, it should be the same thing. I mean, big old numbers. So we're getting the same reading across all the wires, which makes me think that's pretty normal. So that beeping was your heart rate. That's just our continuity test. That's all it is. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, so we're getting the same thing across all the wires. So it looks like we're okay, which is good. So when we go to put our distributor cap on the car, we'll make sure that we go shortest to longest, much like you'd see on other cars, and that is all good. That's all right. I don't take notice of people messing with me. All right. Again, checking our coil wire. All right. So these are all good. Probably definitely need to be changed out. You can always buy a set. They're not very expensive. And that'll take care of that. We are done with this. And we are done with that. All right. Holy moly. This guy is not having a good time. He is not having fun. I don't know what his issue is. Anyway, we are done here. So if you guys have any other questions, you can let me know. You can hit me up on Instagram at 850_spider project. And I will catch you guys later. Remember, on Wednesday, we're doing that live build on YouTube. So I'll see y'all then.